Hey everyone, welcome back to Nova BL Tales. This is an original work created just for this channel. Today we're diving into The Boy He Bought for Revenge, Part 1. If you're new here, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss when a new chapter drops. Your support really keeps these BL stories coming. A quick heads up, this one gets intense, possessive, and very spicy later on. So if you're listening with headphones, you've been warned. Alright, settle in, turn the lights down low, and let's begin.
The room was silent. Not the kind of silence that felt peaceful, but the kind that pressed against your chest, heavy and suffocating. Men sat in the shadows, dressed in power and wealth. Their eyes fixed on the stage like predators waiting for blood. Then, Lot 17. The doors opened. Chains echoed softly against the marble floor. A boy was dragged in. Barefoot. Bruised. Quiet. His head was slightly lowered, dark hair falling over his eyes. But not enough to hide them completely. Because he wasn't trembling. He wasn't crying. He was watching. Carefully. Like he was studying every single person in that room. The auctioneer smiled. "Rare case," he said smoothly. "Refined. Educated. Unbroken, though not for long." A few men chuckled. No one noticed the way the boy's fingers curled slightly, as if holding back something dangerous. At the back of the room, a man sat with his legs crossed, expression unreadable. Kael Varenn. He hadn't looked up once. Until. Name, Elian Roth. Silence. It wasn't loud, but it was enough. Because Kael slowly lifted his head. For a moment, the entire room seemed to disappear. All that remained was that name. Roth. The same name that had destroyed his family. Burned his past. Left nothing behind but ashes and rage. Kael's gaze shifted to the boy. Really looked at him this time. Pale skin. Bruises that hadn't fully healed. Eyes that were far too calm for someone standing in chains. And then. Something strange happened. The boy looked back at him. Not with fear. Not with pleading. But with something sharp. Something, knowing. A flicker of recognition. Gone in a second. But Kael saw it. And for the first time that night. He smiled. Cold. Slow. Dangerous. "I'll take him." The car ride was silent. Elian sat in the back seat, wrists no longer chained. But the tension in the air was tighter than steel. Kael didn't look at him. Didn't speak. Only when they arrived did he finally say, "Leave." Elian obeyed. No hesitation, no question. The mansion doors opened, dark wood, cold marble, no warmth anywhere. It wasn't a home. It was a place where emotions came to die. Kael stopped walking. "Look at me." Elian raised his head. Those same calm eyes met Kael's. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Kael stepped closer. Slow. Measured. "You know that name got you here, don't you?" Silence. "Elian Roth." He said it like poison. "You belong to the family that ruined everything I had." Still, no reaction. Kael's eyes darkened. "So here's how this works." His voice dropped lower. "You are not here to be saved." Another step closer. "You are not here to be protected." Close enough now, that Elian could feel his breath. "You are here because I decided you were useful." A long silence. Then finally, Elian spoke. Soft. Controlled. "Then use me." That was the first crack. Because Kael hadn't expected that. Not fear. Not defiance. Just acceptance. But there was something off about it. Something too calm. Too deliberate. Kael studied him for a moment longer, then turned away. Get him cleaned up. Days passed. Then weeks. Elian learned quickly. Too quickly. He spoke when necessary. Stayed silent when watched. Never asked questions. Never made mistakes. But he watched everything. The guards. The cameras. The routines. And most of all, Kael. Because Kael was not a simple man. He was controlled, but not empty. Cold, but not blind. And slowly, he started noticing things. The way Elian moved. Too precise. The way he reacted. Too aware. The way he looked at certain names, certain documents. Like he already knew them. One night, Kael called him in. Sit. Elian sat. Calm. Composed. Kael leaned back, studying him. Tell me about the Roth family. Elian's eyes didn't waver. What do you want to know? Everything. Then, they're not what you think. Wrong answer. Kael's expression hardened instantly. I didn't ask for your opinion. Elian tilted his head slightly. That wasn't an opinion. Another crack. Tension snapped. Kael stood abruptly, and grabbed him, hard, pulled him closer. Careful, he said quietly. You're starting to forget your place. But Elian didn't struggle, didn't flinch. Instead, he leaned in slightly, just enough. And you're starting to ask the wrong questions. Silence, heavy, dangerous. For a second, it felt like something would break. Then, a gunshot echoed outside. Everything changed. Chaos, shouting, glass shattering. Kael pushed Elian behind him instantly. Instinct, not thought. Stay here. But Elian didn't, because he already knew. This wasn't random. This was targeted. And when the attackers broke in, they didn't look at Kael first. They looked at him. Elian. That name, not Roth, just Elian, like they knew him. Like they'd been looking for him. Kael noticed. Of course he did. And in that moment, everything shifted. The fight was quick, violent, precise. When it was over, the floor was stained, the air thick with smoke. And Kael turned, slowly, toward Elian. You want to explain that? Silence. For the first time, Elian hesitated. That was all Kael needed. His voice dropped, low, dangerous. Who are you? Elian exhaled softly. And finally, the truth began to surface. My name is Elian Roth. A step forward. Not afraid. Not hiding anymore. I wasn't sold. Kael's expression darkened. I let myself be taken. Silence crashed into the room. Heavy. Unforgiving. Kael's voice came out colder than ever. Why? Elian met his eyes. Direct. Unflinching. Because you were next. Everything stopped. The revenge. The anger. The past. It all twisted in that moment. Because the story Kael believed wasn't the truth. And the boy he bought was never the victim. He was the beginning of something far more dangerous. This is where everything changes. Where revenge stops being simple. Where hate starts breaking. Where the line between enemy and something else disappears. And where one question remains. When the truth is finally exposed, will he still destroy him? Or will he choose to protect the one person who walked into his life, pretending to be weak, just to get close enough to change everything.